It Is Tape, Don't Lie, your favorite Raiders podcast on YouTube. We are back. We're giving you the preview of the matchup, the Miami Dolphins, Saturday Night Football, the day after Christmas. You're going to be all excited with your family, ready to sit down and watch this game. And we're going to give you that good preview breakdown. All right, guys. So make sure you hit the subscribe button first, right? Hit the subscribe button. This is you. You're here. You're listening. Subscribe. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead, hit the like button. All right. Go ahead, hit the dislike button if you like. If you don't like it. I mean, all engagements, we love it. I mean, shout out to what's that guy Ben? Shout out to him. He comments every week. I enjoy it.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben, for commenting every week. We appreciate it.
He's probably one of our best subscribers.
I know. I appreciate. Yeah, I love his comments.
He comes to fight us every week.
I love it. So.
He's right. He writes a paragraph to us. I'm like, all right, that's too much. I'm sorry, or I'm happy for you, bro. Good looks. I can't read all that, but thank you.
but yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, leave us comments for feedback, do all that good stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL. Follow BD at BD Williams 18, and we're gonna get you guys ready for this game Saturday. What are you thinking, BD? What are you thinking about this game? How you feeling?
Well, after I found out about this injury report situation, it's not looking great, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, it's mostly on the defensive side of the ball. You broke down the offense. So after you show us what this offense is good at, we'll see how optimistic I feel about this one.
About this defense, okay. And it's kind of the same way going against this defense. You got to see how this offense is going to look. Derek Carr is going to play. Basically, he's not an injury report at all. So he's going to try to will it out with his groin, and see if maybe they add some sub packages for Mariota. I don't know what they're going to plan is, or maybe they just roll out with Derek Carr. I don't know. I mean, we don't know how he's feeling. I mean, they're probably just going to give him some Toradol or something. He's going to roll out there. Did at halftime give him another shot. He's going to roll out there and try to will through it. So, it's going to be interesting to see how he looks this week with that injury. I mean, we've seen him play with injuries before, and usually he just gets rid of the ball real quick. But I don't know. I mean, who knows how he's going to play? So it's going to be interesting with that, especially with this defense, how they attack. But he is good against the blitz too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this team, man, this is. If the Raiders weren't playing the Dolphins this week, I'd be like, this is a fun defense to watch. But then I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, whoa, it's it can be scary. It can be a little scary. But I'll show some clips what I'm talking about, why this defense is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what do you think about this offense before we start?
I mean, the offense, it's run by Tua. It's not very explosive, I would say, but it is very creative. They do a lot of trick plays. I mean, the Raiders should be expecting some trick plays for Lynn Bowden. But I mean, most of it, they do a lot of setting up, which I'll show here. I mean, and then we got the bunches coming, and we all know how the Raiders struggle with bunch formations. But
who's their offensive coordinator?
Chan Gailey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chan Gailey. Well, one thing I will say is now that Rod Marinelli is the defensive coordinator, you might see some different looks against bunch sets for the first time in like 3 years. So
okay.
But yeah, before it was the Raiders just playing straight man to every bunch set ever. Yeah. Like they never switched it up except for maybe against the Chiefs. But now maybe I'm hoping against hope that Marinelli has some different looks that he wants to get them to adjust to, wants to get the Raiders defense to adjust to when they see bunch sets. So we'll see about that. So yeah, why don't you get into it, bro?
All right, let's get into it.
Take us through this Miami Dolphins offense journey here.
All right, let's go ahead. Kind of the basis of this offense, at least with Tua. I mean, I didn't watch for Fitzpatrick. With Tua playing, is they set up bootleg passes and then they mix in the run game with it, and it kind of catches teams off guard. Now, they're not the best running team in the league, but last week they had over 200 yards rushing. So we know how teams run against the Raiders. I mean, we had a bounce back last week, but it's going to be a little different. We'll see. I mean, it could be week to week. We don't know how that's going to go. So let's go over this. Check it out. See the bootleg right here, right? Hit Lynn Bowden right there. real quick little pass. They kind of set this up. That's what they set the up all game, and they do this over and over and over again with these kind of hitting the flat route, starting the game off easy. Like this is like the first drive right here, right? So they're setting it up, right? Flat route, hit inbound and first down, right? And the Patriots really didn't play the flats. They kind of gave him the flats, which I thought was interesting, but we'll see. Watch the Chiefs in a second how they played it. But you see right here, he sets it up. Nice little same thing, play action bootleg, flat route, get a first down, get some yak after that, right? Because the flats were open against the Patriots, so they're able to set it up. So then what happens is they bring the run with it too, right? So then they end up running the ball with the same exact look, bootleg. Is he going to the flat? I don't know. Nope, but there's an open hole, right? Kind of catches you off guard, kind of holds the lineman, right? And you see it again, bootleg motion, big run, Matt Breida right there. So they use that to set that up a lot. But one thing the Chiefs did is they play a lot of cover two to cover it, right? So the corner right there, he's got the flat, and then he's able to drop when nobody comes to the flat, right? And then and that's what the Chiefs did most of the game, and they were able to keep this offense down. I mean, they only had 10 points going into the fourth quarter. They got some kind of a little bit, you could call it garbage time, you could call it not garbage time, but they got a little bit of started moving the ball really late, basically. And you see it right here again. You see Tyrann Mathieu playing the flat on the rollout, forces Tua to throw it deep into a tight window, which doesn't work. So you'll see it from the backside here. You see Tyrann Mathieu playing the flat. And I mean, the Raiders got to do the same thing. They got to be prepared for this stuff. Got to be prepared for these flats, right? Put Tua in a tough position, had to throw it away. It's still a nice kind of throw, still a nice throw, but it puts him in a tough position there, right? So, and one thing they do is RPOs. They RPO heavy, so they're hitting the flats and they're doing quick throws with RPOs. And Tua was awesome with RPOs in college, and he is just as good with RPOs in the NFL. So this is something the Raiders got to be prepared for, which is kind of funny. They actually run the same RPO plays that the Raiders run, which you see this play right here. You guys might have seen that before. It's a little familiar. Hit the tight end on the RPO real quick, right? Right. You see it again. Hit him on the RPO real quick. That's one the Raiders run with Darren Waller a lot. And it's basically the same thing. It was kind of funny when John Gruden was like, "Yeah, Chan Gailey's my boy," and I was like, "Oh, is he?" After watching this, because here it is, same play, but right. See the Raiders run that play, right? Sometimes Carr will hit Renfro with that same tight end look, but they love these RPOs, right? They run those a lot every single week. And then one thing they do really well, which I talked about, was bunch formations. And this is a big part of their offense, especially on third down. They are very, very bunch formation heavy. You see right here, got the routes, got a man-to-man, good route by Lynn Bowden right there, good read by Tua, gets the first down right there, right? And Tua does a good job of going through his reads and understanding how to get these bunches in the short areas. And you see right here, right, another good route by Lynn Bowden, first down, right? Right off the bunch formation. So you like I said, you see this a lot. And then of course it's Tua time, right? We everybody loves Tua time. And Tua looks pretty good, man. He looks pretty good for a rookie. I mean, I wouldn't say that he looks as good as Justin Herbert, but you never know in the next coming years because he has more room to grow, I think, and he has a little chance to get better. But you see some great things from him, like this throw with his fill in the pocket. That was awesome, great throw. See him avoid the pressure right there, throw a dart. It's just beautiful. And then you could use his legs too. You see right here, makes fake. This fake is awesome. You guys can see in this back end how he fakes this 27 out and makes some room for him to go a touchdown and makes another man miss. So he's able to use his legs too as well. So I mean, Tua is a smart quarterback. He doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. He always seems to make the right decision. So it's going to be tough for the Raiders to create turnovers with him. But he's going to try to make some plays, but he still is a rookie. So you see this play is a perfect example of why he's still a rookie. So you see Lynn Bowden coming out of the backfield, but Tua wants this slant right here, but he panics a little bit when he has Lynn Bowden wide open, and he panics. He starts to run, but he knows what his second read is, right? But he's still panicked, and then he just throws it to him, expecting him to be there. It's interception. So you do see that. You see him sometimes lock onto receivers because he still is a rookie. You'll see it right here. He has Mike Gesicki wide open, right? But he's locked on to the receiver. He gets a sack, right? He just stared at that way too long, and it ended up being a sack because of it. So if he, I mean, he's gonna make some plays, but also he's still a rookie. So I mean, the Raiders. I mean, he shouldn't be chopping the Raiders up, really. I would say, but he still is going to make some plays on the Raiders for sure. Like it's not going to be like something that it's not going to be like Justin, but he still is a really good, very very bright future from everything that I saw on tape from him. So, I mean, the Dolphins fans should be excited about what they see from Tua, but right now, I mean, he's not that scary of a quarterback right now, but who knows what he's gonna look like in 2 years. But I mean, he still has some limitations that the Raiders could exploit, especially with this offensive line. This offensive line is not very good. So if Tua holds the ball for like longer than 2.5 seconds, or he gets to the point of his 3 seconds, and the Raiders aren't getting pressure on him, I mean, the Raiders need to. I mean, I don't know what these guys got to do, because there's a bunch of rookies playing offensive line over there. So the Raiders should be able to get some type of pressure. I mean, the Chiefs were able to get pressure on him all game. I mean, the Patriots were able to get some pressure on him too. But he's a quick decision maker. He gets rid of the ball really quick. So he's gonna get rid of that ball quick. He's gonna make a decisions. He goes through his reads pretty quickly. But like I said, like what you guys noticed though, I mean, I didn't show any deep balls, which there's not a lot of deep balls in this offense. I mean, Mike Gesicki is probably the only guy that I could say that could really get deep, and maybe Devontae Parker, but they're both on injury report, and who knows if they'll both play. They're both questionable. Um, and so other than that, I mean, really all he has is Lynn Bowden. I was saying Bowden. Am I saying that right? Is it Bowden or Bowden? Okay, whatever. So the former Raider, a lot of Raider fans, they are kind of upset that they traded him, and he's kind of found a role there. And he's going to be on some trick plays too. I didn't show any trick plays, but they're going to try a trick play this week. They tried it every week that he's been playing. They've been trying to throw the ball with him. I mean, it hasn't really worked yet, but I don't think the Raiders want to be the first team it works on either.
Right.
So, but they're going to try it. They've been doing it like crazy. They've been trying to find different ways to get him the football. And because I mean, he's elusive and he's good in space, but I don't know. I mean, the offense is they can move the football. Okay, I mean, they're going to be able to move the football on the Raiders. That's the thing. Is the Raiders? I mean, are they going to get 7? Are they going to be able to stop the run? It's going to be interesting, because I mean, the offense, like I said, it's not explosive. It's not an explosive offense. They're really not going to beat the Raiders over the top that much. And if they do, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a little bit on the Raiders to me. I mean, they haven't beat anybody else over the top that I watched. So, um, the Raiders, they got to be prepared for that stuff, especially the flat stuff. They got to be prepared for those flats. They got to be prepared for those bunch formations, because I mean, they do get a little repetitive too on that side of the ball. Like a lot of the same plays I was seeing over and over again, and that's probably because Tua is a rookie, and they want to give him some easier reads and stuff like that. So it's not a hard defense to game plan for. So we'll see what Nelly does, and he loves some cover two as well. So they probably might try to copy what the Chiefs did a little bit, and cover those flats, make Tua throw into tight windows over the top, and see what he can do that way.
That was a great breakdown, man. You really went in depth there.
Yeah,
I was interested to see the kind of RPOs that Tua was using, because I mean,
mm,
obviously that was such a huge part of his game at Alabama.
yeah,
He's a great ball handler. I've seen some clips, here and there. It's definitely something that they're going to take advantage of, and hopefully, Rod Marinelli simplifying the game plan and having these guys play fast helps. But yeah, we'll see how these older coaches handle the RPO on these
yeah,
older defensive coaches handle the RPOs. So we'll see
yeah.
about that.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah. We'll see, right? Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting, because I mean, that RPO that I was showing, I mean, it's the same one the Raiders run. The Raiders run that same RPO. And I was thinking, like, did Gruden get that from Chan Gailey, or did Chan Gailey get that from Gruden? Like, who do you think got that?
Hmm.
It's interesting, right? Very interesting. So they um I don't know, man. This offense is just they move the football. I mean, that's basically all I can say. I mean, they move the football, and I mean, they're not going to pull up a lot of points. They're not like this. I'm saying they're not going to put up a lot of points or go up there and put 35 up on you. But the defense is going to create turnovers for them. They're not going to create turnovers themselves, which is a big thing. Like as I said, Tua does not throw picks. He does not throw the ball into traffic once. I haven't seen him made a. The only pick that he did throw, he underthrew a deep ball that was wide open, so it was still a good decision. It was just a bad throw. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he makes good decisions. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. He understands he has a good defense. Is not going to give a lot of points, so he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to be safe with the football, and I think that's. I mean, that's the Raiders are going to have to tough this one out to beat this team. Basically, they're going to have to. They're gonna have to play some defense. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to if they want to win this game. They don't have a decision. So, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see how we've seen how this defense played all year. So, I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up here, but if they want a chance to win this game, man, they're gonna have to play some defense because I mean, that's their only option. Because I don't think they're gonna score a lot of points on offense. And if they do, that's much power to them. So,
right. The biggest thing I think is going to just be stopping the run first and making them get out of that bootleg stuff and making Tua, put the game on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that he's not capable of it, but he is a rookie. So when you have a rookie and it's, a long down and distance, they're more prone to making mistakes. So that's really what the Raiders are going to have to do: get him out of their game plan, get him out of the bootlegs and everything like that, and make him play actual quarterback. So that's I think that's got to be the Raiders defense. They're in flux, obviously, right now. They got everyone out on COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Morrow is not going to play. That hurts. Nick Kwiatkowski is not playing. That hurts. Cleveland Ferrell, especially against the run, like that hurts. So it's definitely gonna be gut check. And when you were saying that the Dolphins don't put up 35 against someone, don't say that. Don't say that. Because that'll come back. That'll come back to bite you.
We'll be the team to put up 35 on.
Ben, whatever his last name is, will be in the comment section. So, but it's certainly possible, and I think this is a good transition. It's certainly possible for them to put up a good amount of points with how well their defense does.
Yeah,
and it's almost guaranteed that they are going to give the ball back to their offense in optimal range, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go through some things before I get into the defense. Okay. So Miami Dolphins have the number one scoring defense in football, right? 257 points allowed, which is the best mark in football right now. When we were talking about this offline before the show started, they do give up yards. They're bend don't break defense, so they get even better at the goal line. But one thing that they're so good at is generating turnovers. They're number one in the NFL in turnovers, 26 turnovers. So well over one turnover a game at this point through 14 weeks, right? That's two turnovers a game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only team to pick off Patrick Mahomes multiple times, right? They do an incredible job of finding the ball in their secondary and taking the ball away. And so the Raiders are going to, I think, and this is something that also that you talked to me offline about. This is why Derek Carr is going to do everything he can to play this game, because they need their guy out there, who's been taking all the snaps all year, to have a chance in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because not saying anything bad about Mariota, but he's not, 100% in this offense yet. A lot of the plays that he was just making off the strength of just being a playmaker, right? And maybe you can do that against some teams, like the Chargers haven't been doing so hot this year, right? But this is the best defense, basically best defense, top 3 defense in the NFL right now. Best defense the Raiders will play, will have played this year. So it's definitely interesting. Now, so I'll just get into it. So first things first, Jerome Baker. Okay, he's a problem. Now, when Brian Flores came over, he was the former defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. He had a guy named Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins was a guy who I really wanted the Raiders to get in free agency because he could play edge rusher. He could play stand-up linebacker. He could blitz from anywhere. He could drop back into coverage. And Brian Flores got a guy like that in Jerome Baker. Okay. Maybe not as much of a freak athlete, but I'm pretty sure Jerome Baker ran like 4.4s at the combine or something, or 4.5. Like he has incredible athleticism, and you'll see him. He's deployed everywhere. Every single alignment that a linebacker possibly could be in, Jerome Baker gets in. He blitzes. He stops the run. He can play edge, edge defender. He can, drop back into coverage and make some impact plays in coverage as well. This is an all-around linebacker. This is a really good linebacker, and he is one of the reasons why him and Kyle Van Noy they're very versatile. That is why we see the Dolphins getting all these different looks, because they have linebackers on the field who could at any moment. Are they an edge rusher? Are they a stand-up inside linebacker? What are they? We don't know. We're not going to find out until the ball is snapped. All right, so that's the first thing. Second thing is, in coverage, they play a lot of man. I think they lead the NFL in man coverage. Don't quote me on that, but I did see a stat at least, earlier in the season, that they were the number one man coverage team in the NFL, and they have a lot of guys who can match up. They got Xavier Howard and Byron Jones on the outside, and they move those guys around a lot actually, to match them up again. On the people on the wide receivers that they think this is who you're going to shadow this week. So it's really tough to figure out where these guys are going to be deployed, and they're very sticky in coverage. They get their head around, they do the little things right, and they make a big impact intercepting passes. This team intercepted Patrick Mahomes 3 times. Okay, so this is a legit turnover producing team. Okay, now one of the reasons why they're able to do this is because they get into so many of these amoeba looks. Some people call it like a prowl look. I think that was like coined like way back when Pittsburgh Steelers, Madden used that. But basically, they have a whole bunch of linebackers in the game. Okay, and these guys are moving around before the snap. And when the ball is snapped, then they get into their rush lanes, and it might be 4 coming, it might be 5 coming, it might be 6 coming. We don't know, and it's very difficult to figure out because there's so much movement pre-snap. And they're a great blitzing team. They get a lot of they get a lot of sacks. They get a lot of pressure. And one of the reasons is it's just difficult to figure out who's coming, right? So even if they're sending 4, they're still getting pressure. And they also run a lot of cover 0, which is interesting. It's definitely a non-traditional type of coverage to run so often at the rate and the frequency that they use this coverage. Usually, this is reserved for like third and shorts and goal line situations. It's really not something that you'll see used as often as it is in the NFL. It's definitely like it's very outside the box that they run this coverage as often as they do. And so one thing is they get a lot of pressure and they have tight man coverage, but teams can beat them, especially with man beaters. Okay. So what the Raiders are going to need to do, they're going to need to come out with some man beaters. They're going to need to come out with some man beaters that they have not put on tape before. Okay. That this offense needs to do something different. If they can get into a look that's different, get into some man beaters that they have not put on tape before, they're going to have a chance. Every team has completed long passes against this team. They are bend don't break team. They give up long passes. They give up long runs. Okay. They just do such a great job of getting sacks and getting turnovers that they lead the NFL in points allowed, or they have the least points allowed in the NFL. Right. And then the other thing is they use so many sub packages. So they're going to have 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers and 6 DBs very often. Okay. You got to run the ball against a light grouping like that, light personnel grouping like that. You got to run the ball, got to run the ball, got to run the ball. And teams have had success running the ball. They've given up 104 first downs rushing, which is like in the bottom third of the NFL right now. So Raiders are going to have to lean on Josh Jacobs as long as he's healthy, Devontae Booker. This offensive line needs to get back to the place where they were early on in the year, run blocking, for the Raiders to have a chance. So Gruden has his work cut out for him. It's going to be tough game planning for this team just because almost impossible, honestly, to game plan for. You just got to do it on the fly and adjust to what they're giving you. It would be very difficult for a team, I would say, to run all the looks that they give you in the scout team, right?
Mhm.
It has to more be, hey, offensive line, they're going to move around. This might be something that it looks like, but we got to be able to adjust on the fly in the game. Hey, Derek Carr, they're going to move around in their front seven. We got to adjust to it. But yeah, it's going to have to be something that they're in constant communication with the coaching staff, and Derek Carr is giving them feedback on what's happening on the field, and Gruden's going to have to pull out all of his tricks for this one, get into his bag, dig deep, and figure out a way to score points against this team, because it's not something that many teams have been successful doing so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is that the Raiders are really good against man to man, and usually they're good against blitzes. But the Jets game, those blitzes were getting to the Raiders, so that was a little different.
Atlanta too.
Atlanta too, yeah. The blitzes were getting to the Raiders, and they weren't able to handle them as well. Hopefully, I mean Trent Brown didn't play any of those games, so maybe Trent Brown might help a little bit. I mean, the line has been phenomenal since he's been back. I think they've given up like 10 pressures total since he's been back. Like they've been absolutely phenomenal since he's come back into the lineup. So that the offensive line being back, that might help with the blitzes as well. They might be able to pick it up a little bit. And that's just probably you explain it. I mean, that's probably why Derek Carr, I mean, is being pushed to play. I mean, even Gruden was like, finish, and saying the word of the week is finish, and Derek Carr is trying to finish. So that Gruden's pushing for him to play. He said, I'm optimistic that he's going to play. So like those little things that he's saying have a lot to do with it. Um, and I think what you explained and what you showed is like a big part of it, because if you're going to need a guy who's really good at protections and setting
Yes.
up his offensive line, and Raiders gonna have to make a lot of checks. He's gonna have to like try to force them to show their hand. I know
Right.
Derek Carr is gonna probably trying to do that a lot this game. He's probably gonna be trying to waste that clock all the way to one, try to get them to show their hand a little bit, show what they're doing. Maybe get them to, but you never know with this defense. The defense might mess with him. I mean, they might show him something, and then he checks, and then they check. This is not a stupid defense either. So it's gonna be tough. That's what I'm saying. This game is gonna be tough for the Raiders to win this game. I mean, this team was better than I thought they were gonna be. I mean, just even offensively, I thought, that they were a little limited there. But I mean, they're not really limited. It's just they complement the defense.
Right.
So
Right.
they complement them a lot. So they're not gonna turn the ball over. The defense is going to get turnovers, and then
Right.
off those turnovers they score, and then they get a lead, and then the defense holds it because they're built to stop the pass, and then Tua just game manages his way through it, and eventually a couple of years from now he's not going to be game managed anymore. So this is it, I mean, this team has a
Right.
really bright future. I think they're really ahead of schedule, but I think this Brian Flores is just an awesome coach, and
Yes.
they got a really good coaching staff, and they've built a really good team of what they really wanted to do. So um, this could be tough, man. It's a tough game. It's gonna be really tough.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about, they drafted Minka Fitzpatrick.
Hmm.
Okay. Minka Fitzpatrick, he was at Alabama. He was their he played their star position. So he's a nickel. Is he a nickel? Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? Right. He did everything. Like, I've never scouted a safety and seen that many different types of coverages run. Right. Like,
Hmm.
he's literally did everything. And then he goes to a defense with Brian Flores where it's like, okay, we're gonna use you every which way. And he complained about it, and they shipped him off. Okay, he would literally have been perfect in this defense, and so they shipped off a first round pick, incredible safety, right?
Hmm.
And they're still the number one scoring defense in the NFL. Okay,
Yeah.
like that just shows you this defense, and the coaching is incredible, and it's more than one player, right? It's the culture and what the things that they do, right?
Mhm.
Because some defenses you'll see they're really good, but it's also a product of a couple star players,
Yeah.
right? Rams being one of those defenses. Chicago, when they were like doing really good, it was like Eddie Jackson in the back end and Khalil Mack rushing the passer,
Yeah.
right?
Keem Hicks. Don't forget Keem Hicks.
Yeah, okay. I would never forget. I went to middle school with Akeem Hicks. Okay, so I would never forget. I would never forget Akeem. He was
Okay.
we had gym class together, and this guy literally he was 6'3", 295 pounds in eighth grade. All right, and like he would take up like 7 lockers. Like you can't change around this guy. He can't get into his space. He's too big, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Shout out Akeem Hicks. I scored a touchdown against him in high school too. He played at my rival high school. He also kneed me in the nuts.
Shout out to Keem. If you ever
Shout
need
out,
somebody in the
yeah.
nuts, shout out.
Shout out Akeem. Yeah, but going back to my point,
Yeah.
there's some teams that have really good team defense, right? Or some really good defensive stats, but most of it is they have a star player out there, right?
Yeah.
Or a couple like really good players at their position. Whereas this team, yeah, I'm not saying Jerome Baker isn't like a star. Like casual fans might not know much about Jerome Baker, right?
Yeah.
They might not know much about Xavier Howard. They should because he's one of the best corners in the NFL. But they haven't been good, so people don't know about these guys. So I'm not saying that they're not stars, but
Yeah.
they play well together. That's the more important thing, and that's the reason why they're doing what they're doing. So yeah, I think that this is going to be the biggest John Gruden test, honestly, to navigate and score against this defense. It could get ugly early, honestly.
Okay. All right. Yeah. One more last thing I say because I think you touched on it a little bit with the offense is it is important to get the Dolphins offense into third and long because they don't do very well when they're in third and long. Um, it's just not something they really, really want to be in at this
Right.
point. So, right. I mean, they got to, that's what I'm saying. They got to get them out of the bootlegs. They got to stop those flat routes. They got to, and then they got to be disciplined enough to not fall for it once they start setting them up because they set them up with RPOs too. If they start doing RPOs, they start passing, and the next thing you know, they're handing them off and you're getting ready for the pass. Like everything they do is like a setup. And I mean, that's what Chan Gailey is really good at. He's setting something up later on in the game. So like everything they do early, they're going to make plays off it later on. So I mean, the Raiders have to be prepared for that too. It's going to be interesting what happens in this game. It's going to be tough. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be tough.
How upset should Raiders fans be that Lynn Bowden isn't a Raider right now?
I mean, depends on how much you like Hunter Renfrow.
Well, is Hunter Renfrow healthy this week?
I think so. I actually think he is. But yeah, I mean, he's not better than Hunter Renfrow if that's what you're asking me.
He'd be the Raiders' 4th or 5th wide receiver.
I think so. I mean, he is the Dolphins' 4th or 5th wide receiver. Right. They just did last week or the last couple weeks. I mean, they've been down so many guys. And then Gesicki and Grant went down against the Chiefs, and then steps up him, and then I think Devontae Parker went down in that game too. So in comes Lynn Bowden, and he gets to make some plays. I mean, he gets open. He can get open, bro, on anybody, and he can get elusive. He just doesn't have a lot of speed. He doesn't get deep a lot, but he can make anybody miss. Man, he's dangerous on those flats. He could take a flat, turn a 5-yard flat into a 20-yard play for sure, right? He could turn to take a 10-yard out and turn it into a 20-yard run too. So I think he's dangerous that way. But I think Tua does like him though. I think Tua he leans on him a little bit too, especially when Gesicki's out. Because if Gesicki's out there, that's what Tua really leans on. That's what the Raiders. I mean, if he plays, the Raiders really have to watch out for him. But
I hope Gesicki plays. I think he's like one of the most overrated tight ends in the NFL. Honestly,
really, you think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. He's pretty good on tape, bro. I was watching the tape. It was pretty good.
Can he block? Can he block?
All right, sure. He can't block. I get it. He can't block, but he's definitely that's not his job. That's Dan Smythe's job. Dan Smythe's job is to block.
Okay.
Gesicki's job is to catch passes. Okay,
Right.
that's
Right.
his job, and he does it very well. He's good at that. He runs good routes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's no George Kittle. Is that what
Yeah.
he probably never will be, but
Yeah.
he has a
Yeah.
purpose. He has a purpose. You know what I mean? Like he has a purpose. But Tua likes him though too, because he could play. He, like I said, he gets open, and yeah, and Tua will find him. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting for real.
Yeah. One last thing I'll say is it's gonna be interesting to see what the linebacker configuration is looking like for the
Oh
Raiders.
God.
Because if Kwiatkowski and Morrow are out, those are basically the Raiders starting linebackers in nickel, which nickel is the new base, right? So you have two linebackers out there at a time if you're a four-man front. And so without those two guys, I guess it's going to be Corey Littleton and Raekwon McMillan,
Hmm.
two like polar opposite type of players, really.
Hmm.
So I'll be interested to see what that ends up looking like for the Raiders. Who ends up getting in a linebacker? Maybe we might have a Javin White sighting. He might get activated if the Raiders are down that many linebackers. So we'll see what they end up doing about that. Also, if Jeff Heath is playing, I think Jeff Heath could play linebacker.
Okay.
Does that sound ridiculous?
A little bit, but I mean,
Um,
what else are they gonna do at this point?
well,
I mean, they can't put Cal Wilber out there.
so when Jeff Heath played with Ron Marinelli in Dallas, he would come in when they would put a dime package in. Okay, Jeff Heath would play dime linebacker, so he'd be in the box. Okay, and his run fits were like, okay, this guy is like a linebacker. His run fits were so good.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Definitely better than Corey Littleton. Okay, so if the Raiders are like in an emergency,
Yeah.
especially Rod Marinelli and Jeff Heath, they know each other, right?
Hmm.
Um, they Jeff Heath played for Rod Marinelli basically his entire career in Dallas
Yeah. Hmm.
up until this point. So I think that'll be interesting to see how what they end up doing, because if they're down that many linebackers, Raekwon McMillan can't cover. We know this. He had a great game last week, stopping the run, but he still did not look good against the pass. And every time he's been in up until this point, it's like a goal line situation or something like that.
Yeah.
They do a play action. Raekwon McMillan runs one way. They hit the guy that Raekwon McMillan should be covering, and the guy runs in for a touchdown. It has happened like twice this year. Raekwon McMillan cannot cover. Okay, so if they need guys who can cover on the second level, you might see a lot of dime. You might see some Jeff Heath in the box. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Because basically the Dolphins chose Jerome Baker over Raekwon McMillan. Is basically what
Yes.
happened.
Yes.
100%. 100%. That's basically what they did. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Raekwon McMillan is an awesome run stopper. So, but I mean, he's gonna be able to help because, like I said, they're gonna want to run the football, but I don't know how he's
Right.
gonna handle those flat routes and all that stuff. I don't. But they got to be able to. That's why I think they should play a lot of cover two this week and try to make Tua throw into tight windows. I think that's what they got to do. So
Yeah. We'll see, because the Raiders were opening up all of those windows very wide for Justin Herbert while they were in cover two. So it
I'm
was
just,
like the worst. It was their worst coverage, honestly.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas there, bro. I'm just throwing out some ideas.
All right. That's it for me. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Thanks for watching. All the Raider Nation, all the audience, okay, all the subscribers. We really appreciate you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in this week. If you're new, make sure you hit subscribe. You're gonna get a notification on your phone, on your device that says Tape Don't Lie just dropped. Okay, and maybe it can help us cope with the way that the season has shook out for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, make sure you also follow my guy Marcus Johnson at the Mark John NFL on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's got other projects that he's into. Some people were asking about your QB podcast last time. So
Yeah.
why don't you plug it real quick?
Yeah. So it's called A Little Pocket Awareness. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify. You type in A Little Pocket Awareness. You'll find that podcast. We break down quarterbacks, and if you think if you think I'm arrogant here, Don't go there. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is a good podcast. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot. So definitely tune into that one. Yeah, you can follow myself at BD Williams 18 on Twitter as well. You can I break down do some highlights, do some lowlights, do some film breakdowns, do some live streams, so you can get some additional content from us on Twitter as well.
Yeah, and we're doing some more draft stuff too. So we're gonna give you guys some draft stuff. So we're doing some expand the box score stuff. So we're gonna definitely have some draft stuff for you guys this spring and this upcoming draft season. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna try to give you some good breakdowns. And then YouTube's gonna try to take our videos down. So let's see.
I've been thinking about this. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Okay, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip the image, okay, and then I'll put like a tint on it. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be like slightly green or slightly blue. I gotta figure it out, but I'll beat the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm will not be able to see copyrighted content on this channel. Okay, I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm confident that I could do it. Okay?
All right. Yeah. That's funny. All right, guys.
Yep. Take care. We appreciate it.
See you later.